Good morning, afternoon, evening.
Why don't we just say hello?
Hi.
It's Curt and Jen in the morning podcast. It doesn't matter when you listen. You can listen whenever you want. It's free. It's on your favorite podcast platform. Share, like, follow, all of the things, please. It helps us.
I guess we're done now, right?
That's it.
Okay, bye. Thank you for listening and viewing. We appreciate it. Fun things coming up today on the big show. Oh, when you call it a big show, that makes it sound
big.
It is a
it's
big one.
big.
John Bon Jovi, rock star and lifesaver. All right. Also, something weird's going on at a Dollar Tree in Indiana.
It's not good. I'm going to tell you right off the top, it's not good.
And yet you insisted we do this story.
I had to.
Okay.
A new option for brides with cold feet.
And
How my butt was causing chaos at Costco yesterday.
can you repeat that one?
How my butt was causing chaos at Costco. Do you like that alliteration? I do. Alliterations make
Causing chaos at Costco. That's cool. All right. So let's get started with, we have, well, this is big news.
Well, it's just the top news story of this morning, and I actually listened to it on the way to your house at 4:15. And that is that SpaceX's Polaris Dawn mission crew completes the first all-civilian spacewalk.
Okay.
So they were up in space, and I was following along, and they did it. They
All
made
civilians.
it happen.
So there's a billionaire up there, of course.
Yeah,
He gets to go.
entrepreneur Jared.
Retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel, a couple of engineers from SpaceX. They all get to go up there, or they're up there.
Yeah.
And they got to do a spacewalk.
They launched on Tuesday. It's a 5-day flight, and they got out of the spaceship capsule thing and did a little walkabout. Would you do that?
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Me too.
I was huge into astronomy.
Me too.
When I was a kid, I had a telescope, and I was out there looking at the stars like a total nerd and stuff like that.
See, Riley, my daughter, was super into space as well, and I don't think that she would. She didn't want to be the astronaut. She just wanted to study space.
Well, why don't they call it a space float? Because that's really what it is.
I think
There's
that'd
no
be
walking
so
that
fun.
actually happens.
So
in
fun.
spaces. All right.
Tell me about John Bon Jovi saving a woman.
John Bon Jovi. Yes, we all know him. He's he's seen a million faces and he's rocked them all. We know that,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
It's,
Wow.
It's true. It's right there in the song. He saved a woman from jumping off a bridge. John Bon Jovi filming a video. This is in Nashville. And this was just Tuesday night. He noticed a woman in despair standing on a ledge.
While he was filming a video?
On the bridge, yeah, the video's been filmed on the bridge. He went over to the woman, was able to convince her not to jump. He also helped pull her off the ledge.
Wow. That's awesome.
Now, in case you didn't know, you know that John Bon Jovi, they have the JBJ Soul Foundation. So he has experience, talking to individuals who are going through crises, from hunger to homelessness. So maybe that helped him being able to talk to this woman from jumping. So good for him.
Yeah, good for him is right. I really like that.
Well, the police
Good
there in
story.
Nashville even said a shout out to John Bon Jovi and his team for helping
for
a
sure.
woman on the bridge. It takes all of us to help keep each other safe.
That is 100% true.
Also accurate.
So yesterday at Costco, I had to do a big Costco run because I'm heading to the dunes in Moses Lake to do a little riding on my side-by-side.
Can I point out here that we talk about Costco a lot, but neither of us works for Costco.
We don't get paid by Costco, but I like Costco a lot.
Yeah, Costco's
They have
fun.
good,
We do like
things.
Costco. So,
But I'm checking out, doing self-checkout.
Yeah.
And one of the Costco workers, they have the little gun thing that they can just bleep, bleep,
Go through
bleep,
your
bleep.
cart, right.
Yeah. So he's like, you know what? I got this. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like trying to stand to the side. And then the computer is like freaking out. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And he just kind of looks at me like, And I'm like, what is going on? And I turn around. I'm like, oh my God, my butt was touching the scale. It was on the scale. My butt was so big. It was touching the scale when I was standing to the side. And so it was making everything all freak out.
is it fair for me to ask how much your butt weighs?
No.
Well, it was right there on the
doesn't say-
scale.
No, but it's on it doesn't say how much it weighs. It's just monitoring. Oh, you bought popcorn?
Right.
That made it onto the scale correctly. My butt on the scale, however, did not make it on there correctly, and it did not like it.
And
It was
said
embarrassing.
so.
It was a little embarrassing. He's like, I'm not going to say anything if you don't say anything.
See, that's a good move, Costco dude.
Right. He was super nice.
Yeah,
I
even
should've
though
gotten his name.
that is hilarious, though.
Yeah.
Could happen to anybody. Chris Isaak is at Chateau Saint Michel tonight.
I only put this in because you have met him, and we're going off about how great he is.
Long time ago when Chris Isaak, was way back when he was first starting, and he was doing a different type of thing, a more soul type of music, and I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of jazzy, but it's Chris Isaak. But he had the show on Showtime for a while. And I just think he's a phenomenal musician and an amazing voice. Most people know his song "Wicked Game."
Yeah, I like that song
and that
a lot.
Phenomenal performer. And yeah, you brought up that he was at Chateau Saint Michel tonight. I was like, oh man, I've seen him a couple times. I met the guy. Something to know about Chris Isaak, and this we were told at the time. And Chris is going to hate me, like we keep.
Yes.
Chris is going to call me up and say, "Why'd you talk about that?"
He probably will. He probably is listening to the podcast.
At the time, he was self-conscious about his ears. I don't know if he has big ears or if they stick out a little bit because they even mentioned, they were like, okay, well, you stand here. And I was with my friend Jen, different Jen at the time. And you stand here and Chris is going to turn his head this way because he doesn't like
his ears, the right angle.
So
good for him for knowing
his
what he likes
good
and
side.
doesn't like. Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity, there are still tickets available. I could not, phenomenal performer.
Go see him if you can, is what you're saying.
Do we call people showmen anymore? Is
yes,
that okay?
I do.
Not a shaman, a showman.
Okay, tell me about this little story that you put in here, Curt. Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those good news stories. This is this goes to a high school near Arlington, Virginia. Well, they have a janitor. They surprise their janitor. I'll get to the surprise in a second. He's been at the school for about 10 years now. He moved to the U.S. from Ghana 10 years ago.
Okay.
And his name is Francis, their janitor there. So a group of boys at the school asked him a while back what your dream car would be, Janitor Francis. And he said, I like those Jeeps with the tire on the back. That's how he put it, a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, that's cute.
The kids started a GoFundMe page in May, hoping to raise enough by the end of their senior year to get him one. They got over $20,000, surprised Francis with a Jeep Wrangler on Monday
with a
big bow on it. Awesome.
Those are the kind of stories I love.
Yeah.
That's making an impact in someone's life for nothing in return.
If you want to Google it and find out about this story, a local news station covered it live. You should check out the interview.
This is in Arlington, Virginia.
Francis is quite a character, and he has a Jeep Wrangler now. His dream car that not his students, but the students at the school got for him. So
Speaking of cars, Curt.
Yeah. This was, and this is kind of a half question, half this is bizarre to me. And I don't know why, but to each their own, right? Some people remove all the emblems and logos on their cars.
Yeah, I don't really get that.
Right,
I dated a guy that did that.
They strip it of all, everything.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a Toyota Highlander, which in this case it was. I was driving to the event I had yesterday for the 180 Foundation. By the way, Lenny Wilkins, really cool guy.
Awesome.
Got a chance to meet him last night. Behind this Toyota Highlander, and it had everything stripped off of it except right in the middle of the back of the, just below the window is the big Toyota logo.
Okay.
If you don't want people to know what the vehicle is, I mean, even though it doesn't say Toyota on it, that massive logo is super recognizable. You know what I mean?
But maybe they're letting the logo stand on its own. That's all.
I guess I was thinking, that's my question. It's like, A, why are you removing all the emblems and stuff like that? And B, if you're going to, don't you need to remove all of them?
No.
Yes.
It's not all or nothing on it.
Well, what's the point of doing any then?
They're creating they're reflecting their own personality based on how they're taking logos off the cars. I don't know.
Right.
I don't even know what that says about someone.
That's what I'm saying. That was my thing, is that it's like, well, if the idea is to remove all the emblems and all the logos so there is no identifying, like this is a Ford or this is a Chevy or whatever, why would you leave a very obvious, Toyota logo?
But maybe that's not the point. Maybe they just want all the words off and they just want the logo to stand on its own.
Look at you.
The branding.
You're just standing up for the emblem removers.
No, I'm not really. I don't really care.
That was just my question. A, why? And B, why leave the one part on there? Almost like, you recognize the logos just from their shape, a Nissan logo or whatever.
For sure.
So, all right, this one you wanted to talk about. I don't know if you could call this a new profession, but apparently it is.
A professional wedding destroyer?
Wedding destroyer.
Why would you like it?
Why would anybody say, hey, I'm a professional wedding destroyer? Here's why.
Looking for a little career shift. Mm-hmm. Here's a fresh new option for you. A guy in Spain claims he's been making very good money working as A professional wedding destroyer.
Why would you hire a wedding destroyer, Jen?
Brides with cold feet supposedly hire him to show up and object so they don't have to go through with it. He says it just started as a joke. He posted a silly ad offering to rescue brides from their wedding for about $550 a pop.
Yeah.
That's U.S. money.
And then women actually started hiring him.
Yeah. What?
So I guess what they're saying is, I decided I don't want to get married, but I don't
have the balls to actually talk about it. So that's a sign that you shouldn't be married.
And I'm not going to just stand somebody up at the altar. So, hey, what's his name?
I
Luis?
hate this so much.
Yeah. He will come in and... But hey, guess what? Just because somebody objects at a wedding doesn't mean that you don't have to marry the person. I mean, when Dana and I got married, if all of a sudden they're like, does anybody object? And Jen stood up and goes, I object to this. I'd be like, okay, get the hell out of here.
You are no longer welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're uninvited, as Alanis Morissette would say. So apparently, if you have doubts, and I guess this could go either way. It doesn't have to just be, women or men or whatever, whoever you are. He will show up and he will object at your wedding. And then he pretends he's an old flame, I guess, and the bride runs off with him. We didn't get to that part. He objects to the wedding and says, oh, yeah, it's me, your boyfriend from high school or whatever.
Oh, my God, let's go.
Yes, I actually love you. And Steve, kiss my ass. I'm leaving.
He says if it doesn't always go well, and people at the wedding tend to get upset, as you'd expect, of course.
You think?
So there's an extra $50 fee for every slap he receives.
Okay, I'm liking this more now, even though it's basically...
This is ridiculous.
I don't know. I kind of like it now that he charges extra for getting slapped. I mean, if it's a joke, which is a bad joke to start with.
It's a terrible joke. It's not a joke. And how terrible that if you're the groom and this happens, or I mean, I guess the groom or the bride, it could be either, right?
Right.
Ugh. Although if he's making a lot of money, Curt, maybe we should start it in the U.S.
You're going to go and object?
Make some U.S. dollars in the U.S.
The groom?
Oh, my God.
Man, I guess,
I mean, how long does it take? He's making $550. It probably doesn't.
Plus $50 a slap. There you go. If you get slapped 10 times, there's another $500.
The bad part is you don't get to the wedding reception for the good wedding cake. Oh, yeah. So there's that.
Well, I would say stick around for the reception either way. Get the cake.
Oh, yeah. You'll be real welcome there.
All right, Jen.
When does life get real, Curt? When does it get real?
Well, I mean, I think that it's pretty common that people say, okay, you're 18 now. You're an adult, right?
Yeah.
You can vote and do other things.
You can't drink, though.
Not yet.
21? 30?
Yeah.
When does life get real?
So
they did a study, of course.
4 generations were asked. So this is Boomers, Gen X, Millennials, and Gen Z were all asked and said, what time, when do you feel, what year do you feel?
Adulthood started.
Yeah.
Right?
What age is that? And do you want a drum roll? We don't have a drum roll.
Hold on. This is when you're paying your own bills, you're financially independent, you're putting responsibilities over having fun.
Right.
What's the age?
27. That seems pretty long.
Well,
if you had a...
No, because if you're going to college...
Yes.
If you're going to college and then let's say you move back... You move back home because you got to land a job.
Right.
Then you got to kind of get settled into your career. And then you really launch because you've settled into your career. That's about right.
Right. Well, you get to the point where your parents aren't paying for your insurance and all the stuff that you said.
Yeah, because that's 26.
You're laying... What?
At 26 is when your parents have to stop paying for your insurance.
Oh, I didn't know there was an age.
I'm pretty certain.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure there is.
71% of Americans, so 7 in 10 Americans taking the survey believe that being an adult is harder today than it was even 10 years ago. I don't know that that's true.
Being adult today is harder than it was 10 years ago.
Well, isn't everybody going to say that?
Why would someone say that?
Well, I think anybody, as they go into adulthood, like you had it easier because anything that you find negative, I'm having a hard time finding a job, school was too expensive, whatever the case may be.
Everything's so expensive.
Right, because that's what happens as time goes on. However, I think with new technology and new inventions and stuff like that, that can certainly make things easier.
A little more convenient. Yeah, you don't have to try to find a payphone to make a phone call anymore.
There's that. That's the big thing. When you're an adult, because you don't have to find a payphone.
Move on.
You don't have to find a payphone to...
I'm just saying when we were turning of age.
Would you like to use a grandma voice? We
I know, seriously, just stop. We're going to teach you about savoring. Because savoring may be the happiness hack you didn't know you needed.
Right. I like this story a lot.
I do too. It's actionable ways to make this habit part of your daily routine, and that's the savoring habit.
Savoring when you take some extra time to relish a happy or calming moment you're experiencing. Okay, the goal is to deepen the connection to that particular time and prolong the joy it brings. So maybe that's the same thing as being present, because I'm terrible at that.
Yeah, you're always looking to the
I'm
what's
terrible
next.
at that. That might be the ADD thing or whatever. It's like, okay, all right, here I am at the concert. What am I doing tomorrow? You know.
Here's some examples. This is what I want to say
for savoring.
This is like this could be giving yourself an extra 5 minutes in the shower, or doing a hair mask, or taking a moment to eat lunch outside instead of at your desk.
That's a good one.
So savoring can help you prepare for harder moments in life. It's an important way to build resilience, I mean.
Sorry.
Or resistance.
I would have gone with resistance, except I saw the word right here.
And I can't read right.
Well, also, I like this about, it can also help you challenge any perfectionist attitudes. The next time you're enjoying a great cup of coffee or feeling the sun on your skin, take time to savor the experience.
I was trying to figure out why that helps you challenge any perfectionist attitudes. And it's really because you're forcing yourself to just take a moment versus I got to do this next, and then I got to do this, and I've got to make everything perfect, and everything has to fit into a nice little box.
Right.
It doesn't.
Yes.
Take the extra time. It's like the stop and smell the roses.
Right. And that's why I lead my life in a very disorganized way, and it works out very well for me. No lists.
You have no lists?
Of course I have lists.
Okay, I was going to say I had like 4 lists going yesterday of things I need to get done.
Well, Jen will make fun of me because she'll say, "Did you write that down?" And it's like, it's in my head.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, remember when we talked about that one thing, Curt?
Yeah, let me think about it. My brain is like a steel trap that's rusted open.
Okay, let's keep going with this whole thing of savoring. You're probably already savoring in your day to day, but here's how to do it intentionally for the past, present, and future. Curt?
Okay. Some things that you can do.
To savor the past, you can simply recall a happy memory and share it with a loved one.
I like that. Spend time journaling or making a scrapbook about joyful experiences.
Are you going to do that, Curt? Make a scrapbook about joyful experiences?
I am not going to do that. Do people make scrapbooks anymore?
Yes.
Okay. To savor the present moment, you can try practicing gratitude when you're out for a walk. Maybe telling your mom or a parent that you're enjoying a conversation you're having, or taking a moment to appreciate the taste of your favorite dinner. And that's a big one, too, because I think a lot of people, you go out for a nice dinner, you take it in and whatever the case may be. But every night, or you're just trying to, eat as fast as you can.
Do you want a quick side note here?
Please.
Our friend Lori, who's the health coach, she was saying that there's a lot of people that she has to coach on how to eat. Because it's exactly what you said. People are just shoveling food in, probably doing something else like watching TV.
Right.
And it's all about savoring. She's like, look at your food, look at the texture, smell it, and really enjoy it and be one with the food, basically. You
know what I'm going to say, and this doesn't apply to everybody, but both of us, I think, can experience this in Europe. When I was in France,
I know where you're
when I was
going.
in Switzerland,
Yes.
when you were in Italy,
yes.
This particular thing happened when I was in Switzerland, and these are friendly people that we were staying with at the time, and they're like, I'm not going to do an accent because it'll sound stupid, but they're like, Americans don't appreciate, we drive-through restaurants are disgusting. They were like, they could not believe that you would actually just go through a drive-through, grab a burger, while you're driving practically. And they were like, and that's why they have these massive 4-course meals every night.
Mealtime is a sacred time for most people living in European countries. It is a time to pause. It is a time to connect. It is a time to savor. And they do all those things. And we do not.
We do not. Particularly that one. I appreciate the whole story, but that's one thing that I want to work on is that's the part, and especially if you have family, that's the time for the family to get together and gather and go over the day or whatever. So savor.
Yeah, but take all the parts in, look at your plate and really know what you're eating. Anyway, okay. How to savor the future?
I just hit the music.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Imagining the positive outcomes of things that you are working towards or anticipating more positive emotional experiences.
I appreciate that. And just because we started the music doesn't mean we have to wrap it up.
I know, okay.
If they're playing us off.
Yeah, but I want to get to this next story because I cannot believe it.
I'm going to leave this one for you.
Okay.
This is...
So a Dollar Tree in Indiana is struggling with a certain something. So there's a mother and a daughter, her 9-year-old daughter, went in to shop for a gift for her teacher. And at one point, they were smelling some candles because that's a good teacher gift, right?
So you're starting. So are these candles? This is what I didn't understand. So they just have a decent sized candles, or like a box full of tea.
Well, we're not talking about we're not talking about like candlesticks or like freestanding candles. It's the kind that has like the lid.
Okay.
And, you go in to smell it. So they're going to smell it, and they open it up, and they're like, "Oh, that's a little weird. It looks like there's a little liquid on the top there. So maybe condensation or something, right?"
I believe that the condensation spilled out in this person's shirt.
It did, because when they went to smell it, you kind of tip it up to smell it in your nose, and then out comes the liquid onto your, like, maybe your face and your clothes.
What exactly was the condensation here, Jen?
Pee, urine. They have been having problems at this Indiana store, Dollar Tree store. Now, we already know that Dollar Trees maybe aren't the cleanliest of stores.
Yeah, they're all right.
They're fine. I mean, I know ours is in Bothell. Anyway.
And who hasn't at one point or another said, I need something right now, I'm going to Dollar Tree?
People have been peeing in candles. Like, why? Why would you do that?
Because they're humans.
So pee got all over this poor little girl. Like, they quickly realized, because it's like, this candle doesn't smell very good. What is it? Oh, let's get pee all over me. So the worker manager gal actually said, yeah, we've been having problems with this. But they don't have a way to catch the people because there's no cameras. So they went to corporate to ask for cameras, and there's still no cameras in. So all I'm saying is, if you're going to go smell a candle, there's something new to be aware of.
I would certainly say
pee in it. Don't pee in it, but
problems with this. So I would say after the first time, you'd say, this is lousy. Somebody peed in a candle. After the second time, Dollar Tree, you better do something about it. This has become a thing.
I can't.
All right.
Like, can you even imagine going into a store and peeing in a candle?
I cannot.
It's a dude. Some dude did it because chicks couldn't do it. There's no way. Well, I guess you could put the candle down your pants.
Yep. You should not. Don't be like that. It's a save for anybody who wants to pee in a candle. It's an equal opportunity thing, Jen.
Who had the idea, like, oh, I have a great idea. Hey, Curt, let's go to the Dollar Tree and pee in some candles. Wouldn't that be so fun and funny?
It seems to me that, at least I hope.
Come on.
At least it's like a disgruntled employee or something. I mean, obviously we want this to stop, but a random person, it's like, I got a funny idea for a joke.
No.
Yeah, if you're listening, person, not funny. Don't be peeing in candles anymore. But it's my favorite thing. I've always wanted to pee in candles my whole life.
Don't pee in candles, but also get some sleep. That's what you should be doing instead of peeing in candles. Get some good quality sleep.
We found that, this is, of course, they always ask experts. I suppose we shouldn't even have to preface
people to
things.
ask.
Yeah. There was like, we asked experts, like, okay, well, we're not making this up. Sleep experts, they asked, name the top sleep mistakes that people make.
These are not new, but here's the thing. I don't know about you, Curt, but I feel like the universe keeps, will give you what you need. We've talked about this before. And the universe is, literally throwing bricks at me now on sleeping. Like, you have to get good quality sleep,
right.
Jen Pirak. And so here's another story about it.
Well, and there's a lot of people, myself included, for a while I had sleep apnea. It seems to have gone away. But you don't know. You look at the clock. You're like, I went to bed at 10. I woke up at 6. There's my 8 hours of sleep. Well, you know what? In that 8 hours of time, you may have only got the equivalent of maybe 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Of good quality sleep,
exactly.
Right.
So things to help you with good quality sleep. I think everybody knows this one. Eating too much or even too little before you go to bed. I thought it was like what you eat. It's like, don't have a burrito before you go to sleep.
No, it's just eating in general.
Mm-hmm. You can have indigestion, or actually going to bed hungry apparently is a bad thing too, because that can keep you awake.
Screens before bed. We all know it. You got to turn off the TV and turn off your phone. The blue light is bad for you.
Stimulation, no good.
Yeah.
Not winding down. I have a hard time with that too. At the end of the day, it's important, they say, to have at least 30 to 60 minutes of wind down time before you close your eyes.
What does that even mean? Like, I do my routine, my nighttime routine, and that helps my body realize, oh, you're flossing and brushing and washing your face or taking a shower. It's time to go to bed.
Well, I don't know that that's winding down. Is that because you're still doing stuff and your brain is active? I mean, does it actually mean sitting down and
meditating?
Something like that, yeah.
Do you do that?
No.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Napping too much, Curt Cruz.
Well, naps are fine, it says, but make them 30 minutes. That's so you have to actually set like a timer or an alarm, and I don't do that. I'm falling asleep and I'm waking up. Whenever.
Do you remember, like back when we were on the radio, we actually did a story about napping, and NASA did a big study on napping, and they said the key time of napping, like there's a window, 26 minutes. Not even a window. It's 26 minutes.
Well, you can say that, but I know for myself, if I whatever stage of sleep I'm in, if I take a nap for like 15, 20, a half an hour, I'll wake up in worse shape than I did before the
Me
nap.
too.
So there's that.
I'm the same.
To consider. Also, problems with sleeping, not getting enough sleep on weeknights. So if you think, oh, the weekend's coming up, I'll just catch up on sleep over the weekend, it doesn't work that way.
I always say that. You say
Right.
that too, right? I'll catch up on the weekend. I'll sleep in.
Nah, doesn't work that way.
Too much caffeine and alcohol.
Yes, caffeine takes about 8 hours to metabolize. So that cup of coffee, if you have, say, at 2 or 3, you're going to be awake till 9 or 10 just on the caffeine alone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have afternoon coffee.
And alcohol might make you feel tired, but you end up getting worse night's sleep. I keep hearing about that, especially in when you're in your perimenopause phase of life. It's even worse.
What I think is this is indicative of, as you get older and it's like you have to put so much effort into something that should be so easy,
Well,
It's a thing. It is a thing.
Sleep is a thing. Otherwise,
Sleep
they wouldn't be talking about it.
Well, I mean, we talk about some things that aren't very important.
Like this one. Why your ears and nose look bigger as you age.
This is just so you know, when we're prepping for the show, I'll be typing up a story or whatever, and Jen's like, hey, why do your ears and nose look bigger as you age? Just these random things that you see.
I do that.
Yeah, it's like, we should talk about this because I don't know. And yes, actually, I just always assumed that it was gravity, and that is part of it, I guess.
Yeah, it's for sure gravity. They're not actually growing.
Right.
It just is everything's changing in your face. Like collagen production decreases is the bottom line.
So let's go with our nose first. Over time,
God.
Gravity takes its course. And also, the collagen production, as you just mentioned, goes down. That causes the elasticity of your skin to go down, and the tip of the nose droops more.
There's more than just your nose drooping, I can tell you that.
Did you do this story just so you could make that joke?
I'm just talking about boobs.
I know. I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm just wondering if you're like, hey, but let's move on to the ears. When it comes to the ears, there's really only one part of them that changes. It's the earlobes. And if you wear heavy earrings throughout your life, that might be more of an issue.
What about those people that wear those big thingies? What do you call those?
Oh, gosh, I hate those things.
What are they called?
Holes, giant holes in your ears. I can't think of the word right now either because it's too early and I'm tired.
Oh my God, that's a terrible excuse. Okay.
Well, it's accurate.
I know.
What do they call those
Dang
things?
it.
I hate
keep going.
I hate when we get to this point where we're like, okay,
keep going.
That's okay. Gravity takes its toll on earlobes over the years, and the soft tissue inside them loses its tone and elasticity as we age. As I mentioned before, especially true for people who have worn heavy earrings throughout their lives. They may have longer earlobes when they get to be a little bit older. What did you find out?
I'm looking. Ear gauges.
Exactly.
Ear
that
gauges.
is what it is. Now, of course, we're like, yeah, ear gauges.
But then they already have problems with droopies.
So if the people that wear the earrings in their earlobes, it causes them to droop, maybe what about people that have nipple rings?
You got to be careful on how you're walking because you might have to just.
I'm just talking about
pick them up as you walk,
right?
Because they're so droopy.
Nice to meet you.
You got to get a good boulder holder. Keep those girls up.
Oh man, we should probably wrap up now.
It's gone sideways.
All right.
Oh, but tomorrow, here's what we're going to talk about.
Tomorrow,
and we want your input, so we have more to talk about on this subject, and that is the restroom a no talking zone? And when we brought this up, I brought this up, and you had something different than I had in my mind.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about a public restroom. Is that a place where you make conversation? I mean, are you in one stall and somebody else hey, how you doing over there? Obviously, that I think that's
well, and I took it as you shouldn't be talking to the person that's in the restroom, even at your house, like in the office, so to speak. Like that's what Pat and I call it. He's going to go have a meeting in the office.
Yeah. Does he have a lot of meetings in the office? Long meetings?
He has long meetings.
Such
long meetings. So I have to talk to him.
Right.
And he's like in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So you're trapped, basically. So what you're saying is you don't think that the restroom is a no talking zone. You're
I don't think so at all. I'll talk to people in the public restroom for sure.
but this is, but you and Pat, you're talking like through the door. You don't go in there and like, hey, buddy.
We want input on both public restrooms and when you're at home with your loved one.
Right. Well, that comes back to another question: is like, is it okay to be in the restroom when people are doing number one or number two?
Oh, when there's not a door that separates it? Is that what you
even
mean?
if there is a door, like, see, I got to brush my teeth, and you go in there and somebody's doing their business.
I mean, I say yes, that you can go in there and do, I mean, it's multi-purpose. Well, there's a sink, there's a toilet, there's a shower.
Mm-hmm.
You're like nobody can come into that bathroom, even if there's a separate door for the bathroom part or for the toilet part.
I'm going to agree with you 100% because it's your birthday. Oh, you thought we were going to go the whole show without saying that.
I mean, I don't.
You thought I forgot. Oh, I don't. That's not a big deal.
I was going to say something though, really quick, because I'm a person that wiggles my feet, and I just noticed that I was doing that again because I hung out with my mom yesterday for my birthday,
right? Because
I'm going to be gone, and she's like, Jen, do you realize that you do that during the show? Because I was doing this, wiggling my feet, and she's like, you can see it.
But so you're like boobs, right?
What, is that what she's looking?
Well,
are my boobs shaking? If you're watching, what are we doing?
I'm like pointing at boobs there.
Your boobs are moving, Jen.
Let's get back to happy birthday.
Thank you.
And Jen is such a great birthday person. And people are like, well, what did you get Jen for her birthday? I've got something.
You did?
Well, unfortunately, you're leaving town, so I can't give it to you until you get back.
All right.
Oh, Curt, you didn't actually get her anything. Typically, on our birthdays, we'll go out. We'll just go out and have a nice time.
Yeah,
either at the casino or something like that. So
yeah,
we'll take care of that once you're done.
We need to celebrate yours still, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess we did a little bit at Sean O'Donnell's.
That's true. So, anyway, everybody, happy birthday to Jen Pirak.
Thank
you
you.
only turned 35 once.
I do?
No, I'm just saying that's a fact. You only turned 30. Everybody only turns 35 once.
Yes, that's true.
But it was a way of saying that you're 35.
Thank you, Curt.
So that's for tomorrow. Let's get back to, is the restroom a no talking zone? Please let us know. You can comment below. You can comment anywhere. You can just go up to a random stranger and say, hey, the restroom is a no talking zone.
You can comment below. In the platform you're listening.
That's the one.
Or go to Facebook and make sure you're following Curt and Jen in the morning.
Have
an awesome day.
Yes.
Make good choices. Find joy. Spread kindness.